chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerned. You hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our friends and family near and far. Hello, happy Friday. Oh my goodness, you made it. You made it. We survived. Hello to my friends near and far. Friends and family near and far. Diehards of the Sabrina Speaks platform. It is good to be with you here this evening, and welcome to another episode of Sabrina Speaks. Voices of the Islands, Conversations for the World, the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes a center stage. I'm so happy that we have reached the end of this week, and I'm excited about bringing you this episode here, Free Flow Friday, right here as we usher in the weekend. Yes, because you know what? We got a guest today. We will be joined by a guest in a little bit. And for all of you who are outside with all of these allergies, I got a warning to let you know, because it's weird, because I don't normally trouble with allergies. So yeah, just be cautious. That's all I gotta say. But yes, today's episode is going to be a little different. Still free flowing though, because for a portion of the show, we'll be joined by Ms. Jennifer Weber of the Rotary Sunset as we shine a light on their new road safety campaign. Now, that campaign is called If I'd Know. Well, you got to stick with us to know exactly what that is all about. She's going to have some statistics for us as well to share with us. And it is an important conversation, really and truly, about the small habits that can save lives right here on our roads, and the work, of course, Rotary Sunset is doing to make Cayman safer for everyone. And then after that segment, we slide right into the Free Flow Friday, and we're going to be opening things up where, it's free flowing. We can talk, we laugh, we have some fun. We recap some of the stories that made this week and continue to actually follow up on. So settle in, share the live. Please tag a friend, let them know that we're live. It's Free Flow Fridays here, and also Rotary Sunset. Please remember that the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are those of their own and not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the host. Now, this program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, financial, or professional advice. All participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully. Any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. Now, listener participation, yes, including viewing, implies acceptance of this disclaimer. 345-936-8255 is the number to call to join in on the conversation. You can also send us a WhatsApp as well. We'll be more than happy to take your comments. Should you want to participate, join in, got a question or a comment you would like to make, you can also use that same number and send me a WhatsApp message. Now, make sure you like, follow, and share the page with your friends so you're always, one, notified, and two, you never miss an episode of Sabrina Speaks as we continue to build this space here, one episode at a time. Now, let's get into your weather news and just, this whole all the happenings they're going on. But before we go straight into that, I want to ask you to bear with me because we have an important public health update to all residents and that you all should be aware of. And the Ministry of Health, Sustainability, along with Public Health Department, they have issued a formal notice in response to the Saharan dust alert, now in effect for us here in the Cayman Islands. Now, this advisory contains guidance for public health and for very vulnerable groups of individuals, including workplaces as well. So given the potential impact of air quality and respiratory health, I want to ask you to give me a moment so that we can go through the information that is being shared, okay? And this is coming directly from the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability, together with the Public Health Department, is urging an important public health notice as Saharan dust alert has been activated by the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Now, the alert is in effect from today through late Saturday, June 27th, with conditions expected to improve by Sunday, June 28th. Saharan dust can significantly reduce air quality and may trigger coughing, sneezing, sore throat, and shortness of breath. Young children, older adults, and individuals with asthma or other respiratory conditions are at the highest risk. Public Health is advising the community to take the following precautions. For the general public, limit time outdoors, especially during periods of heavy dust. Keep doors and windows closed to prevent dust from entering homes and buildings. Use air conditioners on recirculation mode or air purifiers if available. You're also encouraged to wear long sleeve clothing and protect your eyes from irritation. Wash your hands regularly to avoid touching your eyes and monitor for new or worsening symptoms and seek medical advice if needed. Now, for individuals with asthma or other respiratory conditions, you're encouraged to remain indoors as much as possible and use air conditioning on recirculation mode. Now, this ensures reliever inhalers also ensure that reliever inhalers and medications are easily accessible. You're also encouraged to consider wearing well-filtered face mask outdoors if exposure cannot be avoided, meaning if you can't avoid going outside, you're encouraged to wear well-filtered masks. And you're also encouraged to contact your healthcare provider if symptoms worsen. For schools and workplaces, you're encouraged to limit outdoor activities, including sports and extended breaks. Now, keep windows closed where practical and inform parents and caregivers of the measures being taken to protect those vulnerable children. I know a lot of you like to go out with your strollers for those early morning walks, those afternoon walks. It's something that's a part of your routine. I would suggest you change up your game plan for at least the next 48 hours based on this advisory in the best interest of everyone. So the Ministry of Health and Environment and Sustainability, along with Public Health Department, will continue to monitor conditions closely with the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, and they too will provide updates as needed. Now, should you need further advice, the Public Health Department can be reached, and that's on 244-2889. That's 244-2889 or 244-2621. So there you have it. So that is the latest warning and advisory precautions as we head into the weekend. And like I said, there's a lot of you like to go outdoors And we know how that goes. We just need you to exercise extreme caution during this time in your own best interest and for your own well-being, and worse if you have issues with your breathing. Okay, so there you go. 345-936-8255 is the number to call should you want to be a part of this conversation. We're going to be having a guest at around 5:30. So yeah, we encourage you to stick around. And I too would just like to encourage everyone to take precaution during this time. They have done their best with getting it out there for you. Now let's see exactly what is in the weather forecast despite all of that, because we do have the forecast for this weekend, but that was a public health advisory in collaboration with the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. The synopsis for this evening is calling for light to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is drifting across the Cayman area, with hairy dust concentrations forecasted to be just south of Grand Cayman. Now, hazy conditions are expected across the Cayman Islands over the next 24 hours. And as such, that dust alert is in effect for Cayman Islands. Radar imagery shows no activity across the Cayman area. The forecast for tonight is calling for hazy skies with less than 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s and winds will be east 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. The forecast for tomorrow is calling for sunny skies with dust haze and less than 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index of near 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate to occasionally rough with wave heights expected to be around 4 to 6 feet, mainly along eastern and the southern coasts. A dust alert will remain in effect for tomorrow, and also a small craft advisory will be in effect. There will be a high tide this evening at 8:54, a low tide at 2:55 a.m., and another high is expected at 7:41. Sun will set this evening at 7:06 and rise tomorrow morning at 5:51. The outlook is for that Saharan dust will persist across the Cayman area through late Sunday night, with concentration gradually reducing through Sunday. Marine conditions, however, are likely to become occasionally rough tomorrow, Saturday, and expected to return to moderate on Sunday. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes your weather forecast for tonight and into tomorrow, with an idea of what could be expected as you look further into the weekend. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode here of Sabrina Speaks. It's so good to be back with you on this Friday evening. I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. No plans for being outdoors. Oh no, because whatever it is going on, yeah, I'm feeling it. Just a couple minutes, I go out with the dogs, and yeah, I am feeling it a little bit. But let's take a look and what's happening with our news. Yes, starting with local news here this evening, we see the Cayman Islands government officially welcomed NCAA champion Jaden Reed home yesterday at Owen Roberts International Airport, celebrating his historic achievements on the track. Now, the 21-year-old arrived at an energetic crowd of nearly 100 supporters, including friends, classmates, and fans. Earlier this month, Reed stunned the athletics world with a record-breaking 19.63 seconds in the 200 meters and a silver medal in the 100 sentiment. That is setting his fastest man in the collegiate history. So we want to congratulate Jaden Reed for his accomplishments. We know what it takes. And congratulations and thank you to all of those persons who went out to make his return definitely a memorable one as we continue to follow him in his career. We see where police have arrested a 35-year-old man from West Bay after he violently resisted officers during an operation on Seymour Road, injuring one officer, who was treated and later released. Now, the man is also under investigation for a separate assault on Eastern Avenue last week. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says more than 86 assaults on officers have been recorded in the past 3 years, with the commissioner calling the attacks unacceptable and warning that divisive action will continue. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is again in the spotlight today following the commissioner's response to recent media reports and renewed emphasis on accountability, professionalism, and public trust across the service. Yes, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is responding to recent media reports about investigation into complaints against officers, with the commissioner reaffirming that the organization's commitment to accountability and integrity. He said the goal is to maintain a squeaky clean police service, noting that while officers are human and make mistakes, only about 0.1% of more than 175,000 public contracts over the past 5 years resulted in complaints. Now, the commissioner warned that inaccurate reporting can damage morale and potentially embolden hostility towards police, even as officers continue to face aggression in the line of duty. So we will continue to follow this up, and we hope that this clarifies a lot that is out there. But as this unfolds, we will definitely be reporting it here to you. In other local news, we focus our attention on the Cayman Islands Regiment because, yes, they have wrapped up its 9-day annual training camp, and with troops now returning to their families and full-time jobs after what officials describe as a highly successful program. Now, the camp concluded with a trek along the Mastic Trail, joined by senior local and UK partners, including Brigadier Dan Duff and Cayman Solicitor General Reshma Sharma, KC. The regiment is also recognized members for outstanding service and says training continues with recruit intake next month and upcoming regional exercises in Jamaica. So there you have it. Congratulations for those who choose to serve. And I'm quite sure your families are happy to have you back home. Let's focus our attention right now into what news is making regional headlines this evening. We see where news out of Jamaica. Yes, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Caribbean's future leaders will be defined not by oil, but by artificial intelligence, digital government, and faster decision making. Speaking at the opening of the International Building Expo 2026, he urged regional governments to rethink how projects are delivered in an era where technology is reshaping development. Holness warned that the Caribbean can no longer afford slow, outdated bureaucratic systems and must move at the pace of innovation. In other news out of Jamaica this afternoon, Jamaica's government officials yesterday signed a contract to begin construction of the country's first STEM school. Now, the project, to be carried out by China Harbor Engineering Company at Greater Bernard Lodge in St. Catherine, will focus on science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. Education Leaders says that the new institution will provide students with the modern tools and resources needed to excel in these critical fields. So congratulations for them for moving forward on that. We continue to follow developments out of Venezuela this evening as international rescue teams are on the ground searching for survivors. At least 920 people have been confirmed dead and tens of thousands remain missing. The magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 quake hit just 39 seconds apart west of the capital, Caracas, marking the strongest seismic event in the country has ever seen in more than a century. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez says nearly 3,000 people have been injured while close to 50,000 remain unaccounted for. Now, the coastal state of La Guaira, one of the hardest hit areas located about 20 miles from Caracas, has now been placed under military control
as authorities struggle to manage the devastation. And relief efforts are being supported by teams from several countries after aftershocks continue to hamper observations. Well, our heart really goes out to the people of Venezuela. And let me tell you something, the images keep coming out there. It's just heart-wrenching more and more as you see it. And I can't imagine what those people are actually going through. You just can't fathom it. And I'm quite sure these pictures are just barely scratching the surface of the realities and the horrors that is probably on the ground. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Other news from the region, we see where, out of Guyana this evening, regional conglomerate Massy Group says it is deepening its support for the country's rapid economic transformation. Speaking at the company's Montrose location, Massy Group President 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗘 highlighted Guyana's emergence as a hub for manufacturing, logistics, food production, noting that the pace of development has only strengthened the company's confidence in the market. Now, Massy continues to expand its footprints as investment opportunities continue to grow. Authorities in China says a small plane has crashed into Beijing's tallest building, triggering a small emergency response in the capital earlier today. The aircraft struck the upper floors of the tower, sending debris to the street below. Fire crews and police quickly secured the area, and investigations are now underway to determine what caused the crash. Officials have not yet confirmed the number of casualties, and the public is being urged to avoid the vicinity as response operations continues. Across the pond, we take it to the UK because King Charles and Queen Camilla will not take up residence at Buckingham Palace once its £369 million refurbishment is completed next year. Now, the historic building has been undergoing a decade-long upgrade, but royal official says the king prefers to continue living and working from Clarence House and other royal estates. Buckingham Palace will remain the monarch's official administrative headquarters, with the public's access expected to expand once operations are finished. And the heat wave talks continues because in France, record heat has forced Paris to open several parks overnight as residents struggle with extreme temperatures. With apartments sweltering, many persons are choosing to sleep outdoors, including dozens who set up at parks and local public spaces. Authorities also halt alcohol sales in parts of the city to reduce heat-related emergencies and to ease pressure on hospitals. Now, officials warn that the country is facing some of the hottest days on records as the heat wave continues to intensify. That wraps up our news segment here, local, regional, and you can, guess what? Even around the world, we keep it interesting here and we bring you all that we can have. I know we could probably have an entire episode on what's making news for the day. It is so much that is happening around the world. It just really makes you appreciate more and more the place we call home. I could tell you that because it is just mind-blowing what's happening and how much access we do have to keep up with what's happening around the world. So you know what? At the end of the day, there is absolutely no excuse to be left out and saying, I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to buy that. Welcome, one and all. And I want to say happy birthday to anybody who's celebrating a birthday today and all of the persons celebrating a birthday today on this special day. You're rocking it on a Friday and you're going straight into the weekend. Wishing you nothing but the best as you celebrate. Yes, and I'm wishing you many, many more birthdays as you continue to celebrate. Maybe again, it's maybe an anniversary. So yeah, we just making sure that we're sharing the love with you. And we want you to, wishing you many, many more to come for sure. So there you have it. And also for those who are mourning the loss of a loved one, we want you to know that our thoughts and prayers go out to you and your families as you navigate this difficult time. We want to make sure that we have some very important information here to tell you about
because I notice where there's a reminder, an important reminder, it looks as though there's some missing information that is coming in, or lack thereof of information for those students who are applying for scholarships. And I was just trying to find a flyer, but it's not cooperating with me right now. But let me just remind you all that scholarships applicants are reminded that these applications submitted without final exam results and an unconditional acceptance letter from the institution of choice may experience delays in the processing of your applications. And you are all encouraged to ensure that all of the requirement documents are fully completed before your application is submitted. Because if it is submitted incomplete, applications with blank documents, missing documents, incompleted incorrectly may not be eligible for even consideration. So we want to remind you of how important this is. This is a reminder that, could save you a lot of time, maybe heartache and grief. And I know exactly when it's getting down to the wire, how important it is, should you be successful, to get your hands on that money, to lock in for your books and all that sort of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But the key is, don't submit your application incomplete. You're only making it difficult for yourself. It's slowing down the internal processing is what I'm getting. Okay. And also there's a public message from Workforce Opportunities because they wishes to advise the public of its temporary office hours. That's going to be on Friday, the 3rd of July. The counter will open from 8 until 1:30. The call center will be operating from 8 until 2:30, with regular hours that will resume on Tuesday. That will be the 7th of July. Now, work thanks to public for their understanding and encouraging all persons to plan and make the necessary arrangements in advance. So what I'm talking about is Friday the 3rd. Their counter is going to be open from 8 to 1:30, not the regular hours. And the call-in line is only going to operate from 8 until 2:30. Okay. Another community announcement that you need to know about for the weekend is the official funeral for the former Chief Secretary, Mr. James Ryan, will take place tomorrow. That's Saturday the 27th at the Aston Ruddy Civic Center in 𝗙𝗥𝗡𝗄, and that starts at 2:00. Now, members of the public are invited to also, if you can't make it over there, to watch the proceedings and honor Mr. Ryan's legacy of public service. That will be streamed live on CIG YouTube channel, CIG TV cable. That's Logic channels 23, C3, channel 3, and Flow. You can find them on Flow on channel 106. Yes. So there you have it. That's the housekeeping for today. I see you. Yes. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday to you all. It's so good to have you here with us. And there we go. Gonna soon. There we go. It's so good to have you join us. Good evening, George. It's good to have you. Good evening to you. Real Michelle Teresa is here. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to your show. Coffee in hand and smile on my dial. Oh, hugs and kisses to you. There you go. Alfred Real is also joining us on this fabulous Free Flow Friday. What trouble are you up to? What are you saying? Good evening, Auntie Sabrina. Let's make every day a public. Oh, you're so full of it. I want less to do, more time to do it, and more pay for not getting it done. You are something else. Thank God it's Free Flow Friday. Let's talk about that after we finish with our guests to hear about what is going on in this very important campaign. But I know where you're coming from, Alfred Real. You're just something else. Donnie is joining us this evening as well. It's so good to have you. Yes, that's remember, don't forget to check out Green Valley Nursery. Tomorrow is Saturday. They're open from 7 until 4. And she's sharing some beautiful pictures with us today. my content creators in bloom is what I call them. Yes, that's from Donnie. And this is a beautiful one as well from Connie Bonnie sharing with us today her beautiful orchids. These ladies have green thumbs like you would not believe. OMG. For me, I look at them too hard, they die. But I leave it to all you guys, my content creators in bloom. Definitely. Connie, good afternoon to you as well. Late leaving work and just be listening. That's okay. We just love you. We love you. Nevertheless, Andrew is here as well as we continue to build this community. And hello, Mr. Fullerton. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. So good to have you jumping on the live with us today. Andrew is also commenting and saying climate change and global warming is having global economic impact. Here in the Cayman Islands, how will we tackle the weather dilemma? Well, whenever you hear the word sustainability and sustainable way of building and doing certain things and making sure we protect our mangroves and the trees, hello, it's all tied in. We can talk about that in a few. Wake Up is here as well. And yes, our thoughts and prayers go out to Venezuela. I don't want to keep my guests hanging, but for those of you just joining us, welcome to the Free Flow Friday edition of the Sabrina Speaks. And this evening, yes, we're still free flowing, but we are happy to be having a guest joining us this evening, as we're going to be talking about road safety here in the Cayman Islands has become a growing concern. And, we've had fatal collisions. And even though the numbers are down, we got some guests that will be joining us and talking about this initiative that the Rotary, you know what? Let me bring my guests in studio. Welcome. I don't want to take the wind out of your sail. Hello, happy Friday. How are you?
Hi, Sabrina. Thank you so much for having me on. I was getting excited hearing you start to talk about this.
Yeah, that's going to cut out of your time, Miss Jennifer, but thank you so much for being here with us. And to my listening and viewing audience, should they be in traffic, joining me this evening is Miss Jennifer Weber. She's president-elect and founding member of the Rotary Sunset Club. And she has served as Director of Community Service and Director of International Services. And she will officially take the role of President coming in July. Welcome.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, so we are the Rotary Sunset Club. And if any listeners are thinking, I thought it was called Sunrise.
Yes.
There is a Sunrise Club. There's lots of Rotary clubs. There's several. But we are the newest one. We are Rotary Sunset. We've been around for about 3 years. So we are the new kids on the block. We're a little bit different than the other Rotary clubs because we only meet 2 times a month instead of meeting every single week like the other Rotary clubs do. But we like the idea of less meetings and more doing in the community.
Makes sense.
If anybody is interested in Rotary Sunset or looking for more members, I'm happy to grow our club.
Okay, that's good. And I'm happy that you're actually explaining exactly that this is the newest kid on the block. So, because a few times it's funny how the brain works. I kept saying Sunrise, but I know what I was seeing. Yeah, I know, and I was blaming myself, to be honest.
Honestly, the easiest way I explain how many Rotary clubs there are is to think about it in terms of meals. So there is a breakfast club, a lunch club, a dinner club. Okay. We are the meet for a drink club. Oh. And so you can have dinner. It's in a restaurant. You can order food if you like. But that's the easiest way to explain it as far as I'm concerned. And basically the reason why there are several different Rotary clubs is just because Rotary clubs are a community service organization, right? They're all about service. Yes. And different people with different jobs have different schedules and are able to attend meetings at different times. So if you're somebody who wants to start your day early and go to the sunrise meeting, you're going to go and join the breakfast club. If you're
Right.
somebody who can take a nice lunch, you go for the lunch club. If you want to do one after work, you do the after dinner, you do the dinner one. If you're looking for a little less meeting and a little bit more, I think of us as really affordable, because instead of having to pay for a meal every single week, you can get a meal if you want to, but first of all, we have half the number of meetings. And then second of all, it's, you don't have to have a meal. I always get a Coke. This is my big treat, a full sugar Coke, Coca-Cola. And so that's my big thing. And it's very affordable. So I love this schedule. And a lot of people are feeling like they like the way that it's a little bit less formal,
taxing. Yeah. And what I'm getting is that I'm thinking your numbers are going to balloon for some reason, because I've listened to you break it all down, and I'm kind of leaning that way. Only after 7. No, but then because of the show, we end at 7. So I would have to look into more, but that would suit kind of my life right now. I'm a more,
and I'll tell you, so Rotary clubs, like any good community service organization, Lions Club, Kiwanis Club, Rotary Club, there's lots of great community organizations out there, right? And so everybody's doing a good job. But I have found that for women in particular, I think that we've got a lot going on. And so with other things like work and family, fewer meetings sounds really appealing. And so you might be interested to know that we have a club that has many more women than men.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, we'll definitely got to have you back on to just do a whole segment on letting us know this. And interested, because we're constantly evolving, and for participation, it's good for you to be at least flexible so that you're identifying areas that you can fill that niche and still get community participation, and you're meeting the needs of the community, which takes us right into the heart of this evening's conversation. And that is the If I Know campaign. Now, Ms. Jennifer, just what exactly is this whole Rotary Sunset's new road safety campaign, and what inspired it?
Okay, so we thank you so much for asking about this and getting us on track. What inspired it is just conversations with Rotarians, with all of us sitting around. Our meetings finish at 7:30, so usually we're done by about 8 o'clock and on the road. Our meetings are on Wednesday, and just on Wednesday night after our last meeting, there was a Honda Fit right in front of me that never turned its lights on, and it's night. So what happened is we were all just kind of having conversations about things that we're noticing on the road. And we said, you know what, if this is a thing in our community, we're Rotarians, we should do something to try to help and make a difference. So the whole campaign, it's just a safety awareness campaign designed to help prevent accidents and at its core, save lives. So the campaign is just built around simple truths that a lot of crashes happen just during ordinary moments, like little small mistakes, distractions, and assumptions that we make, like that the car in front of us is going to continue to go forward. And suddenly, sometimes the car in front of us stops to pick up a friend, or they stop to make a turn that they didn't expect to make without a turn signal on. And if we're looking down at that moment, we might not notice, and we might run into the car in front of us.
Correct.
So it just encourages drivers to think about the moment before an accident happens, and then that to consider how one small little different choice can make a big difference and change the outcome. And so hence the name of the campaign is If I'd Known, One Small Habit Can Change Everything.
Yeah, that split second where the simplest of thing can change it could end up being so big. I have observed people putting on makeup. I have observed people having full-fledged meals that should have had round a table. It's amazing. I'm not going to say that we all haven't had those moments where we probably went to a drive-thru and we picked up a fry or something like that. But no, some of the things that I see, and they consider themselves being skilled, by doing some of the most weirdest things. But just as you say,
I saw someone eating spaghetti
What?
And of all foods, like twisting, like holding a plate and eating spaghetti. And I thought, wow, that's more than a French fry. That's pretty impressive.
You know what? It's some people that say on a hustle, on a go, but we don't ever want you to be that one that you say, if I'd known,
Right.
yeah. So it is something to when you think about it. Now, let's talk about the timing, because Cayman's roads feel so much busier than ever. And,
That's right.
we're seeing more cars, more drivers, and unfortunately, more collisions. And it's as though our road, we don't have any traffic laws that people pay much attention. Now, mind you, we're far better than some other places in the world, but
Yeah.
still, we continue to see a deterioration in the behaviors on our road. So, why is this campaign especially important right now?
Well, because, road safety is an important issue in Cayman, of course. And the number of drivers, like you said, in vehicles on our roads just continues to grow. We don't have a limit on the number of cars that people or household can have. And so we just keep getting more and more. And so we do know there is some good news that according to the RCIPS data that they have, fatal collisions are actually down by 45%. That's great. But overall, collisions are up by 5%. So we're happy that there's less fatal ones, but it just seems like there are more accidents. And you and I both know every time there's even just a little fender bender,
Correct.
that throws off the commute for everybody, and it ends up causing huge delays. So it just shows that, everyday driving mistakes like these little distractions and inattention are still a challenge for everybody. And so, the Rotary Road Safety Campaign is designed to spread awareness to help drivers recognize how these little habits can reduce the risk of accidents that are happening. And we're not the only one who's talking about road safety. There are other things that are going on in the community, but ours is different because we're trying to complement the other things that are happening without duplicating the message.
Because you segue right into where I was going next, because we know that here in the Cayman Islands, we already have the National Road Safety Strategy, which aims to pretty much trying to eliminate road fatalities and serious injuries by 2038. Now, you mentioned there are other things going on. How does this then, this Rotary's Sunset campaign support and also complement the government's efforts as well? Because you don't want to, you're doing one thing or they're doing that thing, and it's just hodgepodge.
Right. So the other ones are doing things like focusing on issues like reckless driving or speeding or driving while intoxicated and sharing the road. So ours just focuses on these simple, ordinary things, these little mistakes.
Okay.
Which is something that's different than what the bigger campaigns are focusing on.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm glad you highlighted that in case anybody missed it. You're not looking for the reckless driving, not the speeding, but those everyday habits. How are you going to execute this?
Well, what's happened is our club, Rotary Sunset, teamed up with Tower, and we really have to show our appreciation to them because they have been fantastic to work with. They gave us a great discount, and they worked with us and have created a really great campaign. We have 4 videos that focus on 4 different topics. And those videos, because it's just for the public good, we're asking everybody to share them. So we have them out on our Instagram and our Facebook, and we've asked other people like the MLAs to share these messages as well. And nobody needs to have our permission. Nobody has to pay anything. Nobody has to have permission. Right. You can share it on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. You can share it with your church. You can share it with your friends, any way you like. We just want to sort of amplify the message as much as we can about these 4 simple things and just kind of give everybody an extra reminder. And I'm guilty of it too. We all need these reminders to make sure that we are all doing what we can to try to stay safe.
Correct. And we heard that there's 4 things, but let's just, for the sake of those, so that we just cover it and make sure that no stone is left unturned.
Sure.
The lights on, be seen, stay safe. Explain that to me.
So this is exactly what I experienced myself on Wednesday night. And I don't know if you've experienced this. I don't know why people don't turn their headlights on.
Sometimes I gotta be honest with you, it all depends on where you're coming out from and what road. The lights are so bright, your eyes are adjusted. And if you don't have it set on automatic, you could, it's easy to forget.
Yeah, so I was coming down, I was coming from the center of town. We meet at 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗘, that bonfire, that first floor restaurant. And so there's a lot of lights along that road. But once we got to Walker's Road, there were some dark spots, and I kept flashing my lights behind the car. Like we were stopped at a stoplight, and I thought, oh, I'll flash my lights and, have them go, gosh, what's with the lights of this? What is this person doing? But it never worked, and they never knew what I was trying to get at. So we want people to remember, turn your lights on. Headlights help others see you, especially at dusk, in the rain, and during poor visibility, and for heaven's sakes, at night.
Yes.
And so maybe it's just a reminder to everybody that if you have an automatic setting, put it on automatic. And if you don't, just make it a habit that you always think about your lights.
And I'm hoping that some of the times it's not because they're impaired, that they don't realize the basic things to do once you get in the car at night. So that's a total difference.
And I think, everybody's busy. You're rushing home, you're in the car, you're trying to figure out, okay, when am I going? I got to rush. What am I making for dinner? Whatever. I get all of that. So sometimes we just have, too many things on our minds. But that automatic setting is a great tool to use to make sure that you don't have to think about that or worry.
Okay. And number 2, it is leave space, give time, save lives. Explain that one.
This is what we were talking about. I think in Cayman, it's especially during the day. It's not unusual, right? When you're driving down the road, maybe Walker's Road or Crew Road, somebody's walking on the side of the road, and the car in front of you suddenly sees their friend or sees somebody they know, and they stop or they pull over to go pick them up or say, hey, what's going on? And so we have to keep in mind that we can't always expect that the driver in front of us is going to do what it is that we assume. Right? So if we keep a safe distance, leave a little space, it gives us time to react, save lives. We can stop when we need to, and give a little bit more time for us to react and the cars behind us to react as well.
Definitely, because we know for sure tailgating is a real issue here. And this whole thing, they would literally, sometimes it's just irritating, and you're like, only in the tropics. You literally have seen full-blown conversation because the 2 lanes, and they'll be having conversation going at the same, and they'll be actually having conversations. Yeah, I've witnessed that.
My favorite thing is anytime I'm in the BRAC, that every time you pass another car on the road, that they wave you.
Actually, it's not even a wave; it's a finger. It's a _値𝗡𝗏𝗪. That it's a finger.
or you have to stop. Oh, everything. Yeah, everything. Good. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. You're going. Is your cousin back? Oh, okay, great. It's to me, it's incredibly charming. But the good thing is that in the BRAC, there just aren't that many cars on the road.
Correct.
Here, everybody's moving. Everybody's got places to go here in the big city, and so we got to keep moving, and that means that we all have to keep aware and make sure that we leave a little space.
Yes. And number 3, we got phone down, eyes up, stay alive. Now this one hits home for a lot of people. How dangerous is that? Quick glance.
Me included. Because, even if you just glance down at your phone to check what time it is, for example, and then you see a message come in. So, sometimes you're not intending to use your phone, but if your eyes are down and you're looking at something else, you're distracted, right?
Correct.
So phone down, eyes up, stay alive. A quick glance at a mobile phone can be enough to cause an accident. And let's face it, it's not like when we're driving, we are exclusively focused anyway.
Right.
When we're driving, if we have anyone else in the car, if you're a mom and you have kids in the car, you're driving and you're listening to what they say, and then they go, "Oh, mommy, I dropped my juice," and then you're trying to reach for the juice, and then you're listening to the radio or anything else that's going on, and then you look at your phone. You've got 3 or 4 distractions that are going on there. So,
how many of us have actually gotten home or going to a particular destination and you cannot, for the life of you, you got there, but you cannot tell what you cannot recall what you passed, how you got there. You're an autopilot. That's, how much of us are doing that? Because your headspace is someplace else, or you're actually having conversations, or you're thinking, what did I do? Or you're recalling where you're coming from, or preparing for where you're going mentally. Wow, it's real.
Yeah, and we just autopilot, we zone out. And it used to be, I remember I used to have to pick my kids up after they used to swim every day. My kids grew up as swimmers. And so after work, there were 2 places that I drove, home and to the pool. And even after my kids weren't here anymore, it took a while to adjust. If I was on autopilot, I would drive to the pool.
You would automatically.
And I don't even have any kids there. So yeah, it's so true. We get on autopilot and we have a routine, right?
Right.
And so we just do it. And then there's one last one.
Yes, the 4th one is good drivers stay ready. Now, defensive driving, what does that look like in everyday life? OMG.
Well, I think defensive driving is a lot of things. One, it's when I know that when I'm driving on West Bay Road, if I'm going by the Pink Plaza, the Blue Plaza, or whatever, I can anticipate that, there's a lot of tourists around there. They're pulling out. They might look the wrong way and come driving straight at us. I've had that happen a couple of times. And so we just have to be, I guess, hyper vigilant. When there are a lot of cars on the road, we have to anticipate that somebody might not be going the correct direction. On roundabouts, we all know that at any moment, somebody could be in the wrong lane and then suddenly cut over a cross in front of us. And actually, just as a side note, just this morning on my way to work, I had an incident and I thought, I don't know if this is legal or not. There was a roundabout. Somebody stopped in the middle of the roundabout and then waved 6 cars in.
Oh, wow.
Is
the roundabout? They
Yes.
were already in. No, you're not supposed to stop in a roundabout. The traffic law says you don't stop in a roundabout. You continue to go, and those who are entering the roundabout enters in cautiously once there's a safe distance for that car in the roundabout. But yeah, no, you do not. Once you're in the roundabout, you don't stop. That's the only place that you get away with courtesy. And as a matter of fact, right now, they're saying even in the flowing of traffic, you actually slow down traffic when you stop to let somebody out of the side road if it's not already bumper to bumper.
Yes.
And
so this just happened to me this morning. And I thought, for heaven's sakes, this is a new thing that I'm seeing now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that I'm sure that person felt like they were doing a nice thing. But they're not following the rules of the road. And
once
by
they're
doing
in the roundabout, no, you don't stop. Once you're in there, you continue.
And by doing that, I was directly behind that car, and the cars behind me, we were all already in the roundabout. And so we were blocking because we're already in the line, and now we're stopped on the roundabout. So cars could not continue to go around.
Oh, wow.
They were just stopped and, come on in, come on.
Oh, gosh. Well, look at how fitting. One of our WhatsAppers have shared this image with us. This is right now. This is right above Will T Drive and Green Valley Nursery. This is by Star Apple Road in Lower Valley. This is a motor vehicle. So if you're traveling east right now and you're seeing, there's been a serious slowdown that is not really that typical maybe at this time of the evening. This image that I have up here is a motor vehicle accident right now that is in the vicinity of Star Apple Road in Lower Valley, not too far, right up above Will T Drive. So be cautious in that area, and maybe if it's not already cleared, you may want to see if there's an alternate route, because I know some of those roads in the back there are now cut through. But yeah, just exercise caution. It's a weekend. And it doesn't make sense. So how fitting that is, we didn't want to see MVA, but this is what we're talking about, right now in this whole awareness. But yes, Miss Jennifer, I have to go here. And because we are talking, sometimes repetition is key. What is the ultimate goal here, and what do you hope this campaign accomplishes for Cayman? So that's two questions.
Yeah, we want to encourage people to be aware, and to just we're not trying to lecture people, but we just want people to be aware and encourage people to remember to just be a little bit more careful. We want people to recognize that safer roads are created by all of us through every day making these little decisions that we can choose to make or ignore every day. And if people develop safer habits behind the wheels, then we can all do our part to help avoid and these collisions and reduce the number of injuries, accidents, and slowdowns on the road. And ultimately, we just hope to contribute to a stronger culture of road safety across the Cayman Islands.
That's right. Do you think that we here in the Cayman Islands ready for a cultural shift in how we approach road safety, understanding that I got to go here. Caymanians, those who have always been here, going back to as far as the 80s, we know what our standards were. But it's as we continue to have other people join us, other behaviors, other cultures seep in. Here we are trying to gain back what wasn't lost, but it's because who we are is being diluted and we're seeing bad practices coming in. So I wouldn't even, when you look at culture, it's just the behaviors. What you may be accustomed to from where you're coming from is not tolerated here. You think that will make your work even harder because you're not dealing with locals alone with these bad practices.
Yeah, and I think by making these messages simple, I hope that they apply to everybody who hears them or sees the video, and it helps just sort of refocus people's minds on doing these things. And I think what you've said is key, because everybody who comes here from somewhere else, even though they get a Cayman driver's license, and even though most of the time they have to take the test and everything, I think they still bring whatever their habits are from their country, like stopping to let other cars in, or like I mentioned that I flashed my lights to a car in front of me to try to make them think about their lights. I know that other people, when they flash their lights, that means thank you, or that means come on in, Same thing with beeping a horn. Some people beep their horn and that means, hey, I'm here. Other people beep it to say, thanks, good to see you. Other people do that because they want to say, hey, I'm coming out on the road.
One thing with you, Jennifer, you're so polite, girl.
Well, everybody brings their own ideas, and they don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. It's just that we don't all communicate that way when we all come from different places. Yeah. And so, I do think it's key that we all have to make sure that we know the rules that apply here and follow the rules here, because this is where we live. This is where we're driving.
Totally agree with you. Now let's talk about action. How can the public support this campaign?
Yeah, we want everyone to, follow social media pages. And when you see these videos, please not only like it, but please share it. Like I said, you can share it with your church. You can share it with any group, your community service group, your business. If you're a business owner, please share this. Again, you don't need to have our permission. Just go ahead and share it. Nobody you're not going to get charged. We've already paid for this. And like I said before, Tower has done such a good job of helping us by booking interviews like this. Thank you so much for having us on. Cayman Marl Road has been showing these videos, and so have other places. We appreciate it. I'm happy It seems like every day on my phone through various platforms, I'm seeing these videos 3 or 4 times a day, which makes me happy.
Your
But I want
algorithms are picking up. Yeah.
yeah, but I want everyone to be seeing these
That's
a
right.
lot. So please
And we'll be
keep
sharing them
sharing
here
them.
as well on our pages so that it furthers to extend the reach.
I don't know if you can see it, but somebody popped up a message, and it's Ms. Ann Stevenson says, "Hi, Jennifer."
Oh yeah, I posted it there
Hi.
for you so you could see. Yeah.
Hi, Ann. Nice to see you. Thank you for listening. Tell your family that I said hello.
And we have Connie here, one of our content creators in Bloom. She was actually talking about when we were driving in autopilot.
Yeah.
It happens to her sometimes, is she's acknowledging that this is real and it happens to her. But the phone lines are open, 936-8255. If you got a comment you would like to make, if you want to chat out to Jennifer to, let her know, this is good. This is a great idea. Happy to have this in her, this new kid on the block or group on the block. Or maybe you may say, look, I need you to send me more information how I can join. I don't know. But the phone lines are open on this Free Flow Friday.
And you know what? While I'm thinking of it, I should say that if somebody a business owner or a group or some just do-gooder out in the community individual would like to get all 4 of the videos in one go, they can email Tower directly, and Tower will email it to them. So they have it exactly how they need to have it in order to
format.
Share. Yeah. Can I give that email address?
Sure, you can. Let me just bring it down, and then I'll post it in the link below afterwards.
Thanks. It's an easy one. So at Tower, it's a young woman named Sarah, Sarah. So Sarah with an H at the end. Sarah at tower.com.
Okay, no,
So
that's easy.
Yeah, you can just email Sarah and say, hey, can you send the videos to me, all 4 of them, by email, by WhatsApp, or through Instagram, or for Facebook, so that you don't have to do anything hard. You can just forward it.
Okay, not a problem. I'll definitely share those contacts in a few for sure. And it'll definitely be placed there on our site. Lots of things going on here, but yes. So, corporate sponsorship, are you in, besides sharing the videos, how, if someone wants to sponsor, to get more information about your organization, how can they get in contact with you?
Oh, that would be great. So if somebody wants to become a corporate sponsor of this campaign, they can. They could, any money that we would receive toward this campaign, we would use to pay for pushing these videos out more.
Of course.
As a community service organization, the money that Rotary that we earn through fundraising and things like that, like we sell, every Rotarian's always out there selling raffle tickets, right? So any money that we make, actually 100% of that goes right back out to community service projects. So if a company was to give us, I don't know, $100 for something related to this campaign, we would use that 100% to pay for more published ads, more paid sharing, and try to get the word out to more people. But if somebody was interested in our club, then I would be very happy to talk to them about that. I'm a big fan. And so I'll just go ahead and give my own email address. It's easy. My email address is my first name, Jennifer. So it's JENNIFER, Jennifer. Then the number's 345. And then my last name, Weber, and it's Weber with only one B, like the barbecue grill. That's the only part that you have to try to remember.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
There we go.
And I honestly don't mind giving my WhatsApp either.
Go ahead.
I feel like everybody has it anyway. I do. But if somebody wants information, we are the Rotary Sunset Club. We meet the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month. We meet from 6:30 to 7:30 at night, just 1 hour. Right? It's appealing.
Yeah, but not for me. My show ends at 7. So, oh Lord, yeah.
So we meet for just 1 hour, and it's fun. We, part of it is we're a community service organization, but it's also a club. So we're supposed to have fun, and we do. We have a lot of fun.
Okay, there you go. Well, Miss Jennifer, I'll definitely share your details even after the live ends, and we'll do our best with assisting you in promoting those videos. But before we wrap up and just end the segment here today with you, I want to give you the floor, and whatever final word message you want to leave with Cayman Islands tonight. We do have persons that are joining the live, a different segment, so please don't feel, oh my God, they don't want to hear this over again. No, this is your opportunity. I'm giving the floor to you for whatever final message or messages you would like to leave with the Cayman Islands here this evening.
Thank you so much. So, this campaign is just about road safety. And it's 4 simple messages to just try to remind all of us to be safe. First message is lights on. Just make sure that you have your lights on when it's dusk, when it's dawn, when there's bad weather like rain, and certainly when it's dark at night. Keep the lights set on automatic, or make sure that you remember to turn them on during those conditions. Second one is to leave space. Don't get too close to the car in front of you. Leave a little bit of space so you have time to react. Mm-hmm. You have time to stop without crashing into the car in front of you. Third message is phone down, eyes up, stay alive. We know it's easy to get distracted, and so we have to try to remember, keep those phones away. And even if you're somebody who's doing hands-free, the reality is that you're still distracted. Mm-hmm. Right? And so do not pick up that phone. Don't look at that phone. And the fourth message is good drivers stay ready. So you have to be defensive. You have to anticipate that, I'm in an area where there are a lot of condominiums and hotels. And so tourists might be pulling out and going the wrong direction. Or, here I am at a busy roundabout. I'm on the inside lane going straight, but I can anticipate that somebody on that left lane, as I'm going straight, might suddenly decide to cut in front of me. Mm-hmm. You just have to anticipate what could happen and try to be defensive to avoid letting those things happen to you. Okay. So that's really the message. Be safe out there. It's not a lecture. It's a gentle reminder that we all need to be careful, take care of, manage our own behavior, and try to make sure that we remind everybody else to stay safe as well.
Yes. Well, Ms. Jennifer, I want to thank you. And I like the fact that you said that it's not a lecture. It's just behaviors. But I really want to thank you for, thank you. And through you to, of course, Rotary Sunset for leading this important conversation here this evening. We would love to see and hear you and just have you back for some updates. And, this very important subject and initiative that you've taken on in Cayman, and road safety is indeed a shared responsibility. So kudos to you and the vision. Unfortunately, it was a mishap that sparked this. But I always said recently, keep saying it to my friends. There's always a silver lining in everything. Don't matter how bad it is, there's a silver lining in everything. And one small habit is a world of a difference, and you just get it. So I want to make sure that people go ahead and follow the Rotary Sunset on Facebook, and you're also on Instagram at Rotary Cayman Sunset. So I'm not saying it wrong.
Right.
Look right now, follow Rotary Sunset on Facebook and on Instagram at Rotary Cayman Sunset, and share those videos that are linked up there. And most importantly, to drive safely. Ms. Jennifer, please have a fabulous weekend. I'm looking forward for some updates, and all the best on this campaign.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to see you again. Normally it used to be when you were Minister of Health, I would always see you and I would say, let's take a selfie, right?
Yes.
So it's fun to see you in this
Jennifer is something else. Jennifer was always, we got to do it. We got to do it. And I was like, Jennifer, everywhere. We got to do a selfie. We got to do oh my gosh, you're something else.
And it was always because for the Cancer Society, every one person who works at a charity, you got to do 3 jobs. So I was always doing the social media too. So
Yeah.
Lots
Well,
of selfies.
good for
Well,
you.
thank you so much for having us on. We appreciate your support. And last thing just to say is to, show your love and support for all the wonderful community service organizations that are out there.
Correct.
There are so many groups that are out there doing good work. Support them with those raffle tickets and whatever else that they're doing, as long as it's going to go back into the community. Maybe you'll get lucky and win. Maybe one day I'll win something. I buy every single raffle ticket. I never win anything, but they all go to a good cause, right?
Let me tell you, that's my sentiment. And I'm like, okay, girl, you're just doing a donation.
That's
and then
right.
but somewhere in the back of your mind, but if I can only win.
No. I always feel like every time I don't win, I
Yeah.
feel like, oh, that maybe this brings me one step closer to saving my luck for the really big prize.
Exactly, girl. But you
Completely
don't
illogical,
stand a
but
chance
this-
unless you constantly support her by, yeah.
That's
but
right.
Ms. Jennifer,
Thank
thank
you so
you
much
so
for your
much.
support. We
Have a good
appreciate it.
weekend. You're
Drive
more than
safely.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. There we have it. Yes, Miss Jennifer, so good to have her with us. And I'm happy that she was able to join me here this evening. And Cayman, before we move on, I just want to remind you that this campaign definitely matters. Just in case you're joining us, you're like, what are they talking about? One small habit can change everything when it comes to road etiquette. Road manners, just adhering to the traffic laws here in the Cayman Islands and reducing your speed, just following the laws, paying attention to the signs. They're there for a reason. And for those little things that look like sticks on the side of your steering wheel, you call those indicators. Yeah, they're there for a reason. Yeah. Let's stay alert. Let's look out for each other. And definitely that's doing our part in keeping our roads safe. So welcome, welcome. It's Free Flow Friday here on the Sabrina Speaks platform with our live with this Free Flow Friday. 345-936-8255 is the number to call if you want to join in on the conversation that you may choose. We welcome it here today. And for just a reminder, I'm going to post this. There is a motor vehicle accident that has been reported in the Lower Valley area, just in the vicinity of Wilty Drive and Star Apple Road in Lower Valley. So in case you're in that area coming either into town or heading east, you have to be aware that this is a reality. This is happening right now. And I'm hoping, that it'll soon clear, so you can make your way wherever you're going to go. But this reminds me to just make sure people exercise caution on our roads. We know we've heard the stories from our first responders and definitely those who are behind those lines at 911 that Friday, and this is known all around the world, Friday is a weird night for first responders. So yeah, it has started early here and we're hoping that we don't have any more for this evening. But for those of you heading east or coming from the east into town, that's what could be causing some snags or some delays in or build up in traffic there. So again, phone lines are open 936-8255 to join me in this Free Flow Friday. It slipped me to remind you all of an upcoming event. So please forgive me. Look at here. Just when I needed it. Remember that? Just when I needed this. Remember I was looking for this? Yes. This is the scholarship application reminder that I was telling you all about, and I couldn't find a darn flyer. So yes, all applications must include final exam results, unconditional acceptance letter from the institution of your choice, and all forms must be fully completed. Failure to do this, students, may end up in you not being eligible or could actually slow down the processing of your applications. So the scholarship department in education is asking you to make sure that you complete all your applications. That's weird. When you're looking for things, you can't find it. Murphy's Law. And this one, Polished Presence Consulting, they're having a week of Polished Presence Etiquette Week of 2026. And that is running from July 27th to the 31st. So here's a QR code if you want to know more, to enroll or to get some more information on this. This is going for youths and their young adults as well. And just scan the QR code. We're going to be giving you some more information about this upcoming event, definitely in the coming days. And registration deadline is July 17th, but we'll go more in depth as to what's in store, what's behind all of this, and why you should get involved and definitely sign up for this event. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. What's on your mind?
Good evening,
been a
Sabrina.
minute.
How are you today? Although I feel that you're all right, but can I get a formal response to you whether you are fine?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful, sir.
I'm quite sure at some point you felt like a witness who is in court and being asked a question. Can you answer it?
Yeah, you know, I gotta be scared. I gotta make sure I navigate this minefield with how I answered that. But thank you for your asking. I should be asking you. It's been a minute.
Well, it's been quite a bit. Yeah, they're doing one or two things and so on. But always listening in and making sure that I don't fall behind.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I have a suggestion to make regarding reform. I'm always a person who looks at society, and I'm one of those people who tries to look at society and say, how can we make it better?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those issues relate to what I'm going through, but it also, I find it much more worth doing if it is something that might help other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion, Sabrina, is that there must be a change into the way in which judicial review procedures are conducted in Cayman. Okay. Now, I don't want to make it a lecture, but basically, when you sue somebody in Cayman, you sue the government or you sue anybody, a member of the public or a company, you issue a writ. That writ, that document that you first file in court, that is public. It is public in the sense that it goes on the public register in the register of the court. And anybody can go in there and read it. That's why, as you know very well, journalists can go in and say, oh, X is suing Y, X is suing Y. That first document that you file is public. The rest are not public, but that one is public. The difference is that in judicial review, it doesn't work like that. So in other words, if you want to challenge a decision of government on the issue of public matter, a license, immigration, this and that, when you apply for, you can't just bring an application for judicial review. You have to ask for leave to bring judicial review. In other words, permission to bring the judicial review. Now, this has always not been like that in Cayman. All over the Commonwealth, whenever you seek leave to apply for judicial review, that document is also public. Even in Cayman, it has always been like this, but it only changed in 2019 when there was a decision by Justice 𝗙𝗪𝗪, who said, well, in Cayman now we'll change the system. That document will only become public if you get leave, okay? And that is a problem, Sabrina. And my case, which is going on right now, is an example of why it is a problem. It has been widely reported, oh, I failed again to have a judge disciplined and so on and so forth, okay? But you know, the reason is that everything that is being said there is what the judges have decided to make public. My original complaint, which has the arguments, the cases, and so on, you are not hearing about it. Why? Because they are confidentially sealed in court. Let me give you just two examples, and I want to bring in the case of the ombudsman in to show you how the public really is not being well served. In this case, the ombudsman had found the judicial administration that a certain disputed piece of evidence, which I was relying on, was deleted by the judiciary. Okay? After it was deleted by the judiciary, the ombudsman told them, you can't delete a record of a court proceeding, especially not after a freedom of information request has been made by a person involved in that proceeding. He told them you are in breach of the National Archives and Public Records Law, Section 6, which says that every institution, including the judiciary, must keep a record of its affairs. So don't take that from me. Don't take that from me. That there's a decision made public, is on the website even now, and I made it available in the course of the case. So what do you think should be the case? If you delete a record and then you say, oh, but you haven't proved what you are saying in your claim, because where is the record which says that? And I say, well, but you have the record. And then they say, but we have deleted the record. You see, you are not hearing that. Why? Because the judges don't want to talk about that. Also, the ombudsman found them guilty, again in a case relating to me and the same judicial review matter. They refused to put the rules together and they made all kinds of things. And again, the ombudsman found them guilty of maladministration. But the first question, let me pause. Do you think there is a connection between the attempt to remove the ombudsman and these decisions and my case that is going on and how it is being handled? I won't answer it. I will just ask people, do you think there is a connection?
You're putting it
and
out
then
there.
you've got some. Yeah, I'm just putting it out. That's the question. Then let me tell you now some of the other things which are simple and straightforward relating to the case. One of the things that I claimed was that the decision not to discipline this particular judge was not made by the Chief Justice. It was made by the Commission. Under the Constitution, it should be made by the Chief Justice, black and white. But you know what happened? When I was arguing the case before the Court of Appeal, the three judges of the Court of Appeal, the presiding judge, Justice Underhill, who is reported widely as having issued the judgment, he agreed with me. It's on tape. He agreed with me. He said, yes, the Chief Justice didn't make this decision because she just got the recommendation from the Commission. She didn't say that she accepted the recommendation. And then she said, accordingly, your complaint is dismissed. So he agreed with me. But do you know what happened in the judgment? In the judgment, he didn't say he agreed with me. He said he doesn't need to decide the matter.
So you
Now,
ultimately, you lost the case?
I lost the case. And it's good that you asked me that question at this point, because if the judge had ruled that, in fact, the decision was not made by the right person, that was going to be the end of the case. Case closed. We can't now get into whether the decision was properly made and so on. If it was not made by the right authority, that's it. And that is the reason why the judge, in the end, despite having verbally agreed with me in court, when the judgment came, he said, I don't want to decide this matter. Okay? That is totally wrong. You don't even have to be a lawyer. If you are a director, for example, of Radio Cayman, okay, and the statute says this decision must be made by the director of Radio Cayman, and then the decision is made by the director of tourism. And then when I go to court and I say, hey, I made a certain request to to Radio Cayman, but the decision was made by the director of tourism. The answer of the court should really be, the decision is quashed, it's null and void, it must be made by the right person. But you know what they said in this case? They said, no, because we think that the central claim is frivolous anyway, so it doesn't matter who made the decision. That's what the judges have said. Okay, and then there are other rules, for example, and this is also good for the public to know, because it will help them when they fight some of their things. There is a rule, Sabrina, in law. It's a rule of evidence. It is called the spoliation rule. Spoliation rule. That means that if you've got a case that is going on, or it's anticipated that it will go on, and there is a disputed piece of evidence, and the party who is in charge of that evidence destroys it, then you have to interpret that destruction against that person. In other words, if that person destroys it and says, oh, well, I destroyed it, but actually what it says is this, and me who is disputing it, I say, no, it says the opposite. The rule is that you must take what me, the opposing party, is saying it is. And how it applies to my rule is that I said that the tape contains evidence to show that this judge was lying. There are things he said on tape which will show that it was lying, and I swore to it in an affidavit, multiple affidavits, that the judge is lying.
So where do you go from here? Where do you go from here now that they've made a ruling and you've lost the case? What's next?
I have Last night, I sent in my my application for leave to appeal it to the Privy Council.
This is
So
another
I'm
one,
waiting
but didn't you appeal something to the Privy? This is another one.
That is another one,
Oh,
but
Lord.
it is connected to this one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You
see,
did say that there
yeah.
were multiple cases. Okay. I'm just trying to keep up with you.
Yes. Keep up, yeah. You see, what has happened now is that when it went to the Privy Council initially, it was it was a human rights appeal.
Okay.
Yeah, this one now is about the judicial review and how they have handled it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And another issue which is very interesting, you'll find that again there's another rule, right? It's called the rule on uncontradicted evidence. So if I go to court and I file a claim and I've got affidavit evidence, and the other side says, well, what he's saying is not true, but they do not file an affidavit to say that what I'm saying is not true. The rule on uncontradicted evidence says that then you must take what I'm saying to be the truth, because there's no affidavit on the other side.
Right.
It is common sense. They didn't apply it in this case. I'm the only person who has filed affidavits to say fact X is true. They claim that what I'm saying is not true, but they've got 4 members of the judicial staff who could have sworn evidence to actually say that what I'm saying is not true, but they've never sworn anything. They've all refused to swear that.
No, hold on.
Please,
You
could
said
see-
you got 4 members that could swear that what you were saying was not true is what you said. Was that a fraudulent slip?
Okay.
Repeat what you said.
Restate that.
Yes.
I have to repeat it. Yeah. Okay. I think let me give it a little bit of a fact so that's easier to follow.
I just want you
My
to do
allegation-
your statement, because what they were saying, that there are people there who would attest that what you were saying was not true, is how it came across.
Yeah, okay, no, it was the opposite I was trying to say. Basically it's this. I made a request for a video hearing. There was a response from the PA of the judge who said the court has received this request and we are asking the other side to say whether they agree. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, the judge was aware that the request was made. This was like 2 months before. But in his judgment, he said, oh, I denied him the remote hearing because he asked for the hearing shortly before the hearing, meaning basically minutes before. So all I was saying was that the judge is lying when he's saying that, because there's an email from his office acknowledging that it was received 2 months before. Now, if I was lying, don't you think, Sabrina, that they would have gotten the personal assistant and the other people who were copied in the email to swear affidavits to say, well, what the judge is saying is true? They have all refused to swear an affidavit. But meanwhile, the court keeps saying that what you're saying is not true. Do you see what the problem is? Okay. If there is a dispute regarding, that brings me to another rule, which that members of the public need also to understand. You see,
we got some questions. I don't want to block you, but we want to answer this so they don't get lost in the sauce here.
Oh, sure.
The real Michelle Teresa is asking, do I have to be in Cayman to file and serve a writ, or can a friend file and serve on my behalf? Do I have to be in Cayman to file and serve a writ, or can someone?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to be in Cayman, particularly now. You can do it all online. You can do it online, file it on the website online. The only thing you have to do is you have to get somebody in Cayman to serve it. You can go to one of the few process servers who are there. You just send it to them. I've done that more than once, and then they can sue you. You don't have to be in Cayman. Somebody can do it on your behalf.
Okay.
That is the answer to that question.
There's a follow-up statement that is then followed by a question from Harry. Could the judge just refuse to rule on the case and send it to someone else rather than make the caller lose his case? And Harry further says, if the judge agreed with him verbally and then ruled differently on the matter for no legal reason, wouldn't that be grounds for appeal?
Quick answer to that question, and I'm grateful for that question. And that's one of my grounds of appeal. You see, once an issue is raised the judge must decide on it one way or the other. He can't say, well, I don't want to decide on it. And yes, to answer the question, that's a ground of appeal. And all these other reasons I've been giving are all grounds of appeal. And as a politician, you know, well, you're not a politician now, as a former minister, the point, I think the one I made about that the right authority should make the decision, that's very important, because in this particular case, it is the Constitution of the Cayman Islands enacted by Her Majesty's government, which says that complaints against judges of the Grand Court must go to the Chief Justice. It's in the Constitution. So you can't say as a judge, oh, but it doesn't matter if the decision was made by somebody else, because we think it's frivolous anyway. But even the decision that it is free, whether it is frivolous or not, must be made by the right person. I mean, doesn't that make sense?
Yep. From what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's the way it is. So I think what if they can just one of the issues, for example, I have raised in my appeal is that there is need to strengthen the issue of complaining against judges. You see, you remember Justice 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗘 was convicted of drunk driving on her own admission. She was never disciplined. They actually said, well, she admitted and there's no problem, and then she left. When she left, they said, well, she left on her own accord and so on. But to me, there should have been at least a statement from the Chief Justice or the governor to say, well, she has decided to leave. But they should have said, no, this is not the conduct that we expect a judge to be behaving. Nobody said that. This Justice 𝗙𝗥𝗧𝗪 also has not been disciplined. I mean, I have emails which contradict what he said, but even that, the judges have said that it is not enough. So the question you have to ask yourself, for an average individual, what level of proof do you need to show that a judge has misconducted themselves, where even the documentary evidence is not enough? And I can add to that, Sabrina, that when I originally filed the original case, the Attorney General, together with Governor Roper, filed a document in court where they said that we express considerable concern about the behavior of Justice 𝗙𝗪𝗪. I can mention the name because it's in the published document. Justice 𝗙𝗥𝗪𝗪, we express considerable concern. We think that this matter should go to the Grand Court, and in the Grand Court there should be calling of witnesses, discovery of documents, so that a proper decision is made. I'm quoting it almost verbatim because I've read it so many times. And yet when I went to court, the same Attorney General said, oh, no, this is so frivolous, just throw it out. And the judges have agreed. And I pressed the judges. I said, can the Attorney General explain what has changed from the time he said that this is a concerning case on the basis of the affidavit of Mr. Simamba? Can it go to the Grand Court so that it is heard? What has changed? Because you can't just make an undertaking to court like that and then it has changed. Straight away, it gives you that suspicion that maybe there might have been a corrupt intervention. So all these issues, I think, if I can just end my call now, I thank you for the time, Sabrina. There is need to change the system of judicial review to ensure that these things are not being kept confidential. This is something which I'm considering. If I lose even in the Privy Council, I'll take it to the European Court of Human Rights, because I've taken one case there before, so I know the procedure, because these are rights which are protected even by the European Convention on Human Rights. But we will see what is going to happen. I don't expect that the Court of Appeal will give me leave, because they are basically trying to protect the judge, and they also don't want to embarrass the Chief Justice and the Commission. Imagine if the court said, oh yes, the Chief Justice was not the right person, or rather the Commission was not the right body to make a commission. It's embarrassing to the Commission because there are 4 judges there. It is embarrassing to the Chief Justice. But the point is they should decide cases according to law. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping by tonight, maybe tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow, I will receive confirmation that appeal has been filed, and then we'll take it from there. But the public should look into it, yeah.
Okay, before you go, just to address these two, I can, Harry,
Sure.
Who appoints the Chief Justice? That the Chief Justice is appointed by the governor, and that's also with consultation with the legal services. Am I right here? The
Yes,
governor
you're right,
appoints
you're
the
right.
chief, yeah, but in consultation with the legal services. And
Yeah,
Harry is
the Legal
also
Services Commission.
commission,
The
right?
Legal Services Commission is the one which does the advertising and so on, the interviews and so on, and then after that they make a recommendation to the
And then
governor.
he
And then the
appoints,
governor
right?
appoints.
Or well, the post holder
Yes, you're
appoints. Harry
Yes.
is saying, could you not go to the Supreme Court, or is the Privy Council the highest court for the Cayman Islands?
Very good question. The United Kingdom Supreme Court. Remember now, it's no longer called the House of Lords. It's called the United Kingdom Supreme Court.
Right.
That is the highest. That is the highest body for cases emanating from the UK itself. But
Which
for
we would be
cases
considered the UK for this intent? No.
Not for the purposes of the UK Supreme Court. However, our highest court of appeal is the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. So when they say Privy Council, that's a different court, technically speaking. Okay. Because the Privy Council is the one which was put together specifically so that it could deal with cases from the colonies. So our highest court is not the UK Supreme Court. Our highest court is the UK Privy Council. But let me just add one little point. There is a free movement of judges between the two courts. Some people sit, some sit sometimes as Privy Councillors.
Oh God!
and then if you think that one is interesting, also some judges sit in the Cayman Islands on the Court of Appeal, and yet still also sit in the Privy Council. The only thing is that when they sit in the Privy Council, they can't, of course, sit in a case which they start on
because it's the conflict.
I don't agree with that either personally, because to me then it means it's one pool of judges. But that's a discussion.
Interesting.
For another day.
Well,
but,
that's a crash course in the system.
I thank the audience as well for participating in this. Always very grateful to be able to come on your show. Thanks
Harry, actually, before you go, so only cases or originating in the UK mainland can go to the Supreme Court, is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yes. So that's it. Thank you, sir. Have a good weekend.
You too. Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Welcome. It's been a minute. Mr. Samamba was MIA, but now we understand what he was up to. And you always learn something from Mr. Samamba. And Harry is saying, thanks, caller. Bye. Oh, Harry. Oh, that heat still got you, Harry? I got family that are in Paris right now. They left Amsterdam and they are from here, Harry. And that was what I was looking at my phone, and they're like, that heat over there is totally different. So it's amazing. They're coming from here, and the heat over there is just totally different. So I got close friends and family now just doing this European tour, and I gonna blame, this is gonna be a family thing now. When they come back, we're gonna tell that they took the tropical heat over there, because pretty much from the time they left, this heat dome was just over the entire Europe. So Harry, I'm going to try to get my family home to give you a break over there, but they took the Cayman heat over there. 345-936-8255 on this Free Flow Friday here on Sabrina Speaks. Phone lines are open. Good to hear from you, Mr. Samamba, for sure. And Harry also weighs in, going to European Court of Justice, that will be fun. And you were talking about the weather. Heat over here is awful compared to other places. That's what I'm hearing. It's ridiculous. I mean, when you got people resorting to sleeping in parks at night, and parks that would normally be closed are keeping open, because what has happened is that the buildings over there were built to hold heat. And what is happening right now is that they're doing exactly what they were built to do. They're holding the heat, and outside is the best place for people to be at. And even some of the windows, I saw a video today, some of the windows barely open wide enough if there is some breeze blowing, that it's literally barely cracking. So it's very interesting. But I passed through something today. We were talking about AI. And how it's going to be taking over. And just by some chance, I was seeing where shopping where AI is doing your shopping. And I came across, you train me how I can do these things. Now I got to thank Sandra for telling me or walking me through how I do this. But now I'm able now to feel a little bit more comfortable. So if you see me putting up videos and stuff like that, I'm getting more comfortable in it. And I thank her for walking me through that, but I had to put it in practice. But this one came up today, and I said I would bring it up on Free Flow Friday to show you exactly how we go to supermarkets is changing. And you know what? Let me play the video and we'll come back and discuss it. But before doing that, let me end this with Harry, not ending it, but let's get this out of the way. Like Spain, 30 degrees, weather is lovely, but here it's really bad to feel sick after 15 minutes. But you guys ain't built for that. I can't handle that, period. And well, I was in 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗘, I slaughtered that. It's so different there, but still really weird. Tell me where that is exactly. I'm sorry. But yeah, geography, not my strong point, but I don't do pretty bad when it comes to this region. So let me just share and go into this section with you. Bear with me here as we put this on the screen. And I welcome your feedback as well.
Have you guys seen this yet? It's a shopping cart where you just scan it in the shopping cart. Let's try it. It worked. We put bananas in and it's actually weighing it in the cart. Okay. It's giving me a subtotal as I go. I say this is pretty cool. Are you afraid? Do you need me to do it? It worked. You can even throw it in like a sullen teenager and it works. I came in for like 2 things, but this is too fun. Is this burning and eating? I'm done with shopping. The biggest question is, where do you check out? Just in your cart? I'm hitting checkout. $3. Continue to check out. No? Am I doing it wrong? Am I supposed to scan it that way?
Yeah, you should scan it.
Okay, so I just had to use the scanner gun and self-checkout to scan the barcode, and that's all you do?
Well, there you have it. Put myself back in here. That's what shopping is going to look like. So it looks as though these cart, you could see it was at a ShopRite, wherever he is from, some southern state, and he's doing his shopping. And even his teenager throwing that Reach toothbrush in the cart, it was able to scan the barcode on the toothbrush, and just putting the bananas in the cart, it was able to weigh it, and you got the screen as you saw there for yourself. And you're pretty much checking out as you put stuff in your cart. Now, we're talking about advancing. He was cool, but look at what he said he did. He came in there for one item, and he was just having, obviously, this is his first time using this new technology or this new way of shopping. He came in there for one item and was having so much fun being a cashier, technically is what he's saying, that he picked up more stuff because he just had fun doing it. Now, when we're talking about AI and working smarter, and I heard a conversation this morning, Alfred, about overtime and all this sort of stuff. If those carts end up making it throughout supermarkets, that let's say you don't need the volume of cashiers in the stores, then would an extra holiday make a difference? No, I deliberately tied it into that because technology like this is actually making its way. It's becoming a reality. First, it was the self-checkout stands where you still pushed your cart, went to the self-checkout if you so choose, but then you could still choose from people who were physically doing it for you and you bag, whatever the case may be, right? But now they have gone up a notch. You're actually checking out as you put things in your cart. And then when you get to, before you leave, of course, as he showed you on the screen, there's a barcode on the screen that you use what you would normally use at the self-checkout for what we're used to. If you've ever used them, you use that wand, you scan the barcode that has already tallied up your bill, and then that's where you make your payment. This, my friends, is what's coming. And it begs to question for all of us who have depended on summer jobs, for example, guilty. Back in the day, I used to look forward for being a cashier, working at a supermarket, that sort of stuff. Kirk Plazas back in the days, either packing of shelves or being a cashier, being a bagger. Yeah, but now, and even now as adults, we see our own so much people using and becoming cashiers as a second form of income part-time after they do their regular daytime job. So if this is where, Chance, don't do that. If this is where it is going, should cut back on shopping, but you see shoplifting. You are quite right, Miss Barbara G. You're quite right. But it is quite interesting.
You guys seen this yet? It's a shopping cart where you just scan it in the shopping cart. Let's try it. It worked. We put bananas in and it's actually weighing it in the cart.
And you see what he's doing pretty much. It's as he's not actually putting it, he's not necessarily scanning it. And then of course he's looking for, well, it looks like a teenager is going to come and they're just going to throw it in the cart. Look, see, wasn't much scanning there.
It worked. You can even throw it in like a sullen teenager and it works. It came in for like 2 things, but this is too fun. Is this burning and eat?
And then you can see when he gets to the checkout, which is what we would be used to eventually.
Hitting checkout.
And then you're going to see on the screen, look, there's a barcode. It's just there. That's where you use the wand then that we would be used to. And then that's where you make your payment. But technically, what you're doing is that you're checking out as you are shopping. So for those of us who are on a budget, some of us can do it on the whim where we don't need, you know exactly what you're going in for, and you could do the math in your head. But now this is where it's going. You don't even have to do that. And you could have your ready to go bags and you just do them. And yeah, it's just interesting where we're going. Let me come to some of the comments here. Thank you for letting me know where that is off of Africa. Yeah, thank you. And Real Michelle, we will hit 20 degrees Celsius here today in the middle of winter too, apparently. You're in Australia. Oh, yeah. Okay. Harry saying Amazon tried something called Grab and Go or something like that, where you just have an app, okay, with money on it, and you just pick up stuff and put it in your bag. And when you leave, just take, yeah, those were the ones where nobody was working. I remember seeing, I'm not so sure if they're still around or if they have amped up certain things, but yeah, there were a few of them around the US. And Miss Barbara, you weighed in on it and said, of course, yeah, should cut back on shoplifting. Your account on an app is what Harry was clarifying. Andrew weighs in on the shopping part. Let's check out cashiers. AI will take over 75% in the next 3 years. Automated robots to repack shelves. Elon Musk is billing millions. Oh, I saw an interview on a man from Financial Times that were giving his synopsis on what's happening there. I gotta try to find that. He's saying, Andrew is saying Elon Musk is building millions of robots for $20,000 each, cheaper than hiring humans and paying salaries, insurance, and pensions. Yeah. And you see, it all depends on what type of business you're looking for. But when you look at, let's say, this $20,000, you're right. It may, for some, based on the business, be more economical for you to invest in that and don't have to worry about overtime. Do you have to get permission from DLP for working over X amount of hours? There's no medical, there's no pension, there's no sick outs. They are making these things pretty much outpace us. And that's my fare. That's one of my fares. But as Andrew mentioned Musk, there was a commenter an economist, or no, not an economist, a financial expert. I'm going to try and find it. I'll share it one day out of next week, where they were mentioning about Musk now having to go to friends, funders, asking for how much billion again. And right now it is, as he described, a bubble. It's a bubble of debt, an unpaid debt, because of persons. It's like they're not getting their return back, but yet he's still now asking for seeding, for funding. And it's quite interesting. I'll try to find it and we can probably talk about it one day out of next week. But when you look at all of this and him being the first trillionaire and all that sort of stuff, but now is still going back to those persons who assisted him to get the IPO. And he even mentioned that this individual mentioned how, that was a distraction, but who's actually catapulting those is the ones who really right now have not made any return on their investment, yet he's coming back for how much billion again in less than, I think he said, a couple weeks. So it's quite interesting when you dig deeper into it, where some of his financiers, those persons who are investors, are actually like beginning to say, but hold on, you're coming again and we're losing. But I guess they're a risk. But hey, I'm not the specialist here, but it's quite interesting how this gentleman summed it all up, as I digress there. Harry saying, no, they shut that down when the system kept failing. So we were losing tons of money. Thank you for clarifying that. This is why it went silent. Well, look at this now. Maybe this idea with the cart was born from that idea. And I would love to have gotten a patent on those carts. That's a darn good idea, let me tell you. So it's interesting, again, with where the world is going and how technology is taking over. And that may have been a blip, an era, but look, the carts are here. And I could see the carts actually doing the job. And of course, you could see where he went up to the cashier or the checkout stand, and there was still a human being standing there saying, yeah, that's all you have to do. I mean, so obviously in certain places, you would still need human to be there, but not necessarily in the numbers of going back to what we're accustomed to. Now, it may take some time for it to reach this region or in small island developing states. But if you go back and recall the news segment that I had this evening, Jamaica is getting ready. And let me tell you something. The Prime Minister of Jamaica is definitely making his rounds in Guyana. And I'm looking at other regional small island development states leaders that they're making their rounds, joining forces in trying to bring things as they almost do a reset, whatever, despite separate the shroud of questions that is coming over certain jurisdictions more than others. But what I'm saying, if you listen to what they're saying and what they're trying to do with innovation, making sure that, pace is a big thing. And I found the news article, where Prime Minister Holness says at the Futures Leaders about Futures Leaders is that Caribbean's leaders will be defined not only by commodity oil, but by artificial intelligence, digital government, and faster decision making. Yes, these were what he said at this opening of the International Building Expo that's taking place in Guyana. And he also warned that the Caribbean can no longer afford being slow. Outdated bureaucratic systems, and they must move at pace of innovation. So that is broad. We can dissect that statement how you want it, but it goes right back to the conversations that we were having at the beginning of the week. And if you listen to our very own parliamentarians, they're pretty much saying the same thing. So again, it's all coming together. I think that even though we were British overseas territory jurisdiction, the operations and the workings of how governments operate is pretty much the same. And they're all, including the UK, they're all saying the same thing. Pace, getting better systems. Everyone is saying it, but they're not saying it, if you get what I'm saying. Harry is saying, I have some very sad news. Raymond's Lindy shut down and only one store in Calford remains. Tell me about this. What is this? Was this a big chain there and a lot of people, and what caused them to close down? Tell me more about that. You know, as we keep it regional, I also, unfortunately, I don't want to end on a note, but just like I was saying in the news segment about what's really happening on the grounds of Venezuela, I found this is either a video or a news article, I think it is. But let me show you some of the images that are coming out of Venezuela. This is as early as today, so bear with me. Okay, that is some footage, aerial footage that is coming out of Venezuela just today, like hours before we went live. And just to let you know, and every one of the reporters and people who are actually covering that unfortunate situation over there is saying, no matter how you put the videos out, no matter how you do the still pictures, it cannot even begin to let you understand the magnitude of what is happening on the ground. And up to when we went, I want you to put these numbers into perspective. Right now, it's only estimated 50,000 persons remain unaccounted for. Think about that number. And that continues to actually increase more and more as more equipment comes on the ground and more help is coming in. So yeah, I just thought I had to share that, because when you look at ourselves, we're a blessed jurisdiction, but still, we're not immune from the realities of any of this stuff that could happen. So yeah. As I get more comfortable in this, you'd be seeing more stuff like this, and so that it can put our conversations into reality, because you can have better ways of comparing and comparisons as we continue to build this space here, one episode at a time. Harry's explaining it was a store in the forest that has been going for like 80 years. And they used to sell carpets and clothes and stuff, but the woman who owns it got ill. So her daughter has reduced it to one remaining store. Okay. And my thoughts are with those affected. Oh, your thoughts are with those with the earthquakes in Venezuela. Oh, thank you for clarifying both. And yeah, Harry, I just couldn't end today's episode without sharing that, because, you know, sometimes we complain and moan, oh, this and that. But a lot of these people are sleeping on sidewalks. They are literally sleeping on highways. They have tents now pitched. And as aid comes into them, we're seeing where, you know, their hunger is beginning to set in, and it's just devastating there with them on the ground. So I just want us to, no matter what, just give thanks for what we have. And you know, once there's life, there's hope. Yes, but I can tell you what, if your surroundings is anything like that, a loss of a loved one, maybe you can't get connected with your family. We know how much people are here. We have a lot of Venezuelans here in the ground in the Cayman Islands. And You know, you can't imagine what that must be like there. And as the days go on, there is the window of finding anybody alive is beginning to narrow. So we want you to keep that in the back of your minds for sure. But yes, we have come to the end of this week. I want to thank all of you for being with me this week. Oof, thank God it is over. What a week it's been. Quite emotional, ups and downs, but that's life, isn't it? But we still showed up. You all showed up here as well. Thank you for your participation. Even Alfred for talking about dusters and challenging me. Oh my God, what's that man is something else. And for all of you, my content creators in Bloom, for all of those who call, send me those images of those mangas. Yes, even those. I had a half of one today, a half of one. And yeah, and I enjoyed it. I must tell you, I did. I can't eat a whole one because of my gastric bypass. The natural sugars would just set me crazy. It's just too sweet. So I was praying because when I ate it, that it didn't impact me while I was live because it doesn't hit you immediately. So I was just gorging myself with water before coming up here, trying to dilute it. But I really enjoyed the piece that I had. And for all of you who are looking for Mango Fest, enjoy it. I am looking forward to it as well, but just a season, period. It has been a pleasure bringing you this episode of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you sticking and staying with me this week. I'm looking for and hoping for a wonderful and safe weekend and for a productive week ahead. Please do be safe on the road. If you don't have anything good to say, just try to say something nice or don't say anything at all. To all our ladies and gentlemen and front lines, thank you for your service. And I'm wishing you all a good night, God's blessings, love you lots. And for those of you who are mourning the loss of a loved one, our thoughts and prayers go out to you no matter where you are. Good night.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, K-Man, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.